Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Tony Evening Channel. And today we are celebrating a very special birthday. I'm going to pay tribute to a legend in rock and roll and pop music. And that's Steve Winwood, who is turning 78 today on May 12th in this year, 2026. I want to give a special mention to Steve Winwood because he is someone very special to me. I did see him live when I was a teenager. I saw Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers live in 2007, and the opening act was a Mr. Steve Winwood. And at that concert, he was selling his newest album, which I have right here, from 2007, I believe, 2008 actually, 2008, not 07, the album 9 Lives, which I have not played in a long time, but it is a special album to me for that reason. Yes, I really enjoy all these songs. They're really just unique, excellent. But anyway, I want to talk about his whole career. You know, the first band he was in was the Spencer Davis Group back in the mid-60s. And they had two giant hits with Gimme Some Lovin' and I'm a Man. I'm a Man, of course, was covered by the band Chicago 2 years later. It's one of those great songs about lovemaking and being a man. I'm a man and I can't help but love you so. And Give Me Some Lovin' is a classic song because it was covered by the Blues Brothers in the classic film Blues Brothers. I'm so glad you made it. So glad you made it. You got to give me some lovin'. Give me some lovin'. Well, to my knowledge, the Spencer Davis Group did not last too long because then he formed a band called Traffic with giant hits like Dear Mr. Fantasy, what an epic song that is, and Freedom Rider, and My Back Page. I think they not My Back Pages. Well, they had a they had a great song that I like a lot called John Boycorn Must Die. It wasn't a hit single, but I think it was a great song. I would love to get their albums on vinyl. I don't have any of them, and yeah, this morning I heard their classic song, Low Spark of the High Heel Boys. It's one of those classic songs from the 60s, might have been the 70s, that's like 7-8 minutes long, and it's just such an epic song. That's what we had back in the 70s and 60s that were just so epic. Were these 7 or 8 or even longer songs that were just so epic because they had these long instrumental interludes. You know, like Neil Young's songs like Cowgirl in the Sand and Cortez the Killer and what's the other one from Neil Young? I'm drawing a blank now. Cowgirl in the Sand and I'll remember it later. But Low Sparkle High Heel Boys, it's so great because it's about 7-8 minutes long. There is that long little instrumental break, and the lyrics are very hard to figure out and decipher. And after Traffic disbanded, or before they disbanded, he did this album right here, Blind Faith, a super group that consisted of himself, Eric Clapton, Rick Gretsch on bass, I think, maybe drums, and I think, yeah, I think it might have been Alan White on drums, maybe. No, it was the drummer from Cream, Ginger Baker, Rick Gretsch on bass, Clapton on guitar, and Steve Winwood. Yeah, and Steve Winwood does the lead vocals on 2 of these tracks. Can't Find My Way Home, such a classic, epic song, and Presence of the Lord, written by Eric Clapton, but sung by Steve Winwood. Not sure why it was like that, because usually in music, someone writes a song, they sing it as well, when it's someone like Steve Winwood. But those are such achingly beautiful songs, both of them. And, you know, Eric Clapton was someone who was known for starting a band and then just breaking up and leaving it. He did that with Cream after only about 3 years. And then he did 2 bands that lasted for just one album. Blind Faith right here, and and then Dirk and Dominoes, which was also just one album. And I do want to mention one fun, bizarre fact about this album, which is that when it was released back in '69, the original cover of the album was this photo of a 10, 11-year-old girl, completely topless, holding an airplane figurine. Now, for some reason, that was okay back then, but then 20 or so years later, when they put this album on CD, the record label said, no, we can't do that, and they put this photo of the four of them on the cover. Obviously, I think that's very sketchy and creepy to have a photo like that on an album cover. I still want to track it down and have it one day, for historical sake. I'm just joking about that. But then Steve Winwood went solo and did his own thing, and he had a lot of amazing, huge hits in the 80s. The song Roll With It, the song Higher Love, which might have been a Grammy Award-winning hit, I'm not sure. The song Valerie, The Arc of a Diver, the title track of the album, was really good. I love the song Back in the High Life. I love the song Take a Chance. Again, those are just classics when you hear them on the radio. And I think Steve Winwood was a fascinating figure because he had classic hit songs in the 60s, he had a few classics from the 70s, and then he had a few classics, many classics from the 80s. And with all those songs, you know, his hit songs from the 60s, they sound like they're from the 60s. His hits from the 80s, they really have that 80s sound. They sound like they're from the 80s. So I just want to say that this man is a real legend, and happy birthday, happy 78th birthday to him. And, you know, Steve Winwood, congratulations. You really won. You're really winning the whole rock and roll game here. And he has such a great catalog from those 3 decades. I don't have any of them on vinyl, unfortunately. I have these 2 albums on CD. And I do want to say, if you don't have this album, 9 Live from 2008, you really should get it. It's not what you would call a real rockin' album. These are kind of intimate songs that I really enjoy. Yeah, I'm Not Drowning is a great song. I wish you have another listen sometime. Maybe I'll track it down on vinyl. That would be my ultimate desire. Anyway, I just want to say, happy birthday, Steve Winwood. Thank you for all the music. Thank you for being such a great rock legend for all these years. And thank you for being there when I saw Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers live for the first time in 2008. Not 7. I don't know why I said that. But let me know what you think of Steve Winwood here in the comments. Thank you for watching.